welcome to a new stream. And today, what we're going to talk about is what if we could build a system that would make it easier for companies to apply to our skills. And the idea came to me after I realized that uh, we could kind of make it easy for each other to find each other's skills for companies and also for developers. So without further ado, we're going to jump into our VS Code for our kind of main integrated development environment. And we can start. Are you ready to start? Yes. So this is the repo I have for my own application. And I think the first thing we're going to say is we need to give the application a name. And bear with me because we're just getting started. We're going to have a side of kind of graphic. First, I think before we dive into the details of the code, we need a kind of a plan, and the plan will look like that. So we're gonna create a Kanban board. You know, the Kanban board is sort of we're gonna start with an interesting system. Okay, what are we going to do? Well, I think we need we're getting warmed up, and this is our another project that we have. Okay, so well, if you can hear me, then you can hear me. So this first, we're just gonna tell it. Okay, so we need kind of like a page. We'll call it the planning application. It's going to be sort of like a meta application, but it's very lightweight. All it's going to kind of help us to do is to kind of track a project that we're going to do. First thing I'm going to do is give you the markdown file, and you'll be able to kind of deduce the best way to represent it. Ideally, I want two views. First, the Kanban drag and drop view, and the second is kind of like a list view where I can click as we go. So here is the markdown file that you will receive. So I do have a planning document, like a template that I think works really well for this sort of AI-driven development. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to our plan here, and we have a format for our plan. And I think it should be able to read it. So it's going to read our plan, and while it's reading our plan, we're going to switch up to this, and we're gonna let it do its thing. So while it's building, we're going to give kind of like a warm-up specification to our thing. I think what we need is a sort of okay. So I think we need to start planning. So I think the general plan is going to be as such. So this is going to be the first plan, really. I think what we need is the actual handoff document. We have a specification that we can kind of grab, which sorts of and in fact we're gonna start the development around 10 minutes. And this is our local. So we're gonna have a experimental tab so far. I think I'll put it behind the admin panel. And well, I think I'm going to go inside of my meta project so we can actually keep track of it. It's a .NET project, so I think I'm actually going to launch it alongside of this to kind of help us kind of keep track of it. So let's do that. But first, I will create a new one. Okay. I'm gonna call it, you know, to just duplicate this, make it easier. And I call it internet. And the only difference we're gonna have this is going to be our Chrome. Okay. So anything that happens in our Windows switcher is just gonna happen here. So here is kind of the website, and we're going to create a new tab here. So we're going to vacillate between the two projects. The other one, for the sake of we're gonna use proper Visual Studio. And I'm kind of live streaming, but while I'm live streaming, it's to kind of keep me up to date with things. And honestly, viewers and stuff don't really matter at this stage because it's a matter of gaining the momentum. And then the rest of the video, we can even walk through it. So right now, it's not really about its viewership as much as it is about kind of making the thing happen. And I think that's the most important thing for now. So without any more hesitation, we're gonna close all. I think that's a good, I'll close all tabs. And we're gonna go into our this particular application that we can launch, okay? And I will show you the application, which in fact could be a great OBS feature if I wanted it to be. And but now we will use that in another video. Do we need SSL? I don't know if we do, but we're gonna try and see. And we're just gonna see if it's going to launch, and it has launched it, but our user interface is lacking quite a bit. So I think for the sake of, we're just going to use proper Copilot, and we're gonna ask the question, new, definitely have a more free model. And what are we going to ask it? So I want to create a new workspace, and we're going to work on that workspace. And I have the idea that to make it easier to track the project, I think we should start having file paths, and from that file paths, you should be able to kind of get some Git information about what is going on. Maybe the Git will be a great way to kind of see what artifacts are generated and what is pending. Is there a mechanism to seed our project or a new workspace correctly? And let's see what it says. Like this guy was saying, when it comes to development at this point, we are no longer going to have like recruitments where it's gonna be to prove, can we do a link list? Can we do all sorts of things like that? I think this kind of paradigm is probably no longer relevant. Well, let us check our browser and pay no mind to our homepage. I think it has definitely been messed up, and actually we should fix that. And we sometimes have to use the old methods because they complement each other. They do not necessarily compete with each other. They just we have no 404s, so it's not an issue of, is it an issue of caching? It's not. So I guess I will kind of say always use a proper code and simply tell it that honestly, I don't even know if my voice is working fine, but I'll be quiet for the rest of this session until from our documentation, we have a new workspace that we would like to create. So the workspace is going to be called RATS. In this workspace, we will have a plan that I will show you. But first, do we actually have that mechanism where from Copilot, I can instruct you to generate a new workspace, and then we can think about the plan. Okay, so you see, I think that's the part is we no longer deal with so I think we can go, we're gonna have to go to a workspace. We could do it like this. We could create a new workspace and have it here. But I think the first thing we should do is we let's think about our agents. Which agent do you think will take care of that for us? Is it the architect? Is it the coder agent? Is it the reviewer? I think the architect is going to be the agent that is best suited for this type of development. And therefore, I also wonder if we can have an interface right here. So let's use our traditional tools. We're mixing things here. Okay, can you please tell me the routes of this current application, the main features of this application that we have? We could do it by hand, right? We also need that because we can go in our controllers, and I think our controller that we're going to use is the workspace controller, and we could have a seating system, right? First, we do not have to worry about that. I think even before I will confirm, and we need to see our running agents, our kind of applications that we have. Let it read its thing. All the while, let's okay. For our workspace importer, we need a new kind of feature is the ability to import from clipboard. So there is going to be a text field where we can paste and save, and then that would import it. Let's see if that Copilot is able to actually pick it up. Meanwhile, we are going to kind of one thing with .NET is that it doesn't allow you we have to check our pending changes. Always check our pending changes, because okay, so this is the change. It imported the plan. There's a content. I think planning is everything at the very first stage. Let's look at our controller and what the controller has done. Well, we receive a post, we have a new action, import to clipboard, that has the same thing, but instead of a file, it's going to be just a text string, and it's kind of literally the same thing. We could technically merge these two, but I can ask it a question. I want to know, in our workspace controller, why did you create two actions and not just extend our current action to just receive clipboard text? Which one currently would keep the view the clearest? Yeah, I think that's ideal. Then write a little test case for it too. You know, our first hour, I think that's the part I think with software development, is that sometimes things can be very boring at the first start. And this is kind of like the part where this, I would be able to just write it myself. I think it would be faster to write it myself, but I'm just going through the experiment. So at this various degree, I think it would be faster to just write it by hand. So I think it's that's one of the insights that we have to know, is we're gonna go that into our ideas, and we're gonna go, well, I think the app is not running, so what we can do is we'll let it finish, but if that's a good idea, and then we can just go in our thing and say, know when to drop down and write things by hand. Okay. Okay, before now that you have the plain format, let's kind of think of the kind of features of the application, just broad outlines without kind of going into too much detail, so I can kind of know what we're supposed to be doing. All right, so it's going to, ironically, it's using Python to kind of write the stuff for us. And so what did it change? Let's wait. I think we have to do it like a speed run, you know? All right. So if after 2 minutes this doesn't work, this is actually a test for can we actually, is it worth it to code with like a small model? But I'm very confident that Okay, I think we're gonna use Sonnet 4.5. Okay, let's drop out of this and let us use the proper let's use the proper Claude, you know? I could use Gemini too, but let me use Gemini. You know why I'm using Gemini? Because Gemini has this kind of context, better context. And in fact, we're gonna create a presentation just for that, to kind of show kind of like the rules. Let's go to kind of the models and let's actually just create a new slide. And we're going to talk about the models. We're gonna say models impression, because okay, impression, I think I have for now Gemini, we have Claude, we have the haiku. In fact, let's do it differently. We're gonna create a table. I'm going to insert a table I'm gonna have a 3x5. So columns, gonna have 3 columns, we're gonna have 5 rows, okay? In here, we're gonna say the model. Maybe we're gonna say, like for example, Gemini. Actually, let's just say Gemini model. Gemini models. We have the Claude models. We have the GPT models, okay? So far, this is what I've been using. So for the GPT model, we have Flash. Let's just assume I'm using Gemini 3, okay? Let's just assume that I'm using Gemini 3. So I'm gonna say in Claude, based on what I see here, I think it's using, let's say we're using Claude, we'll find it here in our models. We'll say Claude 4, Gemini 3, and GPT-5, okay? So GPT-5, family, Claude 4. Okay, so for Gemini, we have the Flash, which kind of is equivalent to Haiku, which to me is equivalent to the Mini model. We have the Pro, which is kind of like, I would say, Opus, and maybe this is like the actual, what is the name of this one? Opus would be kind of like Pro, at least in terms of Google. It's just that the Google seems to be cheaper. And then, so for now, I think Jepet, the free ones are not good yet. They might be good at documentation and test cases. So there's a place for them. So I think what I need to do first is, like for example here, okay? We're going to do a test. The first test I'm going to choose, so I don't waste time, I'm going to choose Gemini 3, okay? And I'm going to say, I think our entire user interface is broken. There seems to be an issue with layout. Some elements that were supposed to be on the left or on the right are like suddenly at the bottom. We have a deep contrast issue. So we also have some margin issue. So we need to kind of look at our layout and make sure that there's no issues with the HTML. So that, for example, some pages like the agents page, where we should have everything in like a 2-panel, one left panel and the right content detail, but it is at the bottom. So we have to fix that issue. Now I'm doing it directly instead of just filing the bug. So while this agent is working, I'm going to drop Phi over here and I'm going to I'm gonna close this. I'm gonna say keep and continue. I'm going to go into our page and this should be white text. So our layout is broken. So we're gonna let the system fix it. But what I'm trying to say is I think if I'm using flat, okay, I think it do that implementation. I think this would be good at kind of like understanding. But this implementation is provided you have a plan. This one is also probably better than Flash, but more expensive. This one is like top notch for me, but very expensive. This one is kind of like quite dumb, but it's kind of like very slow. Well, dumb but fast. Could work in like at the function level. At the function level, could work. Okay, so I think this one could work at the function. This one, in my opinion, could work at the app level. App level for implementation. So let's go back to our planning and let's kind of think about our system on a more systematic way. Because I think in plain English, um, okay, so let's think about it. Let's go on our app to see what our agent has done. And let's see. So what did Copilot say? So I think .NET, okay. In our workspace.cs, can you tell us, we would like to add this idea on a workspace. I will be able to give a path and we save that path. This is our project path. And your task is to basically find the pending changes. So on our workspace detail view, we'll see the pending Git changes related to that workspace. Let's see what he comes up with. All right. Okay, so let's see if our Gemini has fixed it. Maybe it's asking for permission, but let's go on our Andy the robot side. We should see a new tab that shows up here. Well, the app is not running, so we'll go and we'll just launch it. There's an issue with the apply URLs, I think. What is it saying here? We don't want to be the Stack Overflow kind of copy and paste without understanding. We have to understand. I think that's important. I'm using Gemini for this, by the way. You see, there's like a lot of issues with GitHub Copilot. It has read 0 files, although we have even given it that this is the active document. So have we even wasted tokens? So I think the GPT-5, let's try another model. Let me try this. Okay, so our at workspace and Gemini is on Windows we have an issue with it not being able to run